Modern Warfare 2 in 2023 is unplayable, and I'm not talking about this Modern Warfare 2, a game released in 2009 that is objectively one of the best Call of Duty titles of all time. One that was littered with cheaters, no developer support, or better yet, getting spawn killed by some bozo running one-man army danger close.
God damn it.
But we're not here to talk about that Modern Warfare 2. No, we're here to talk about this Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 2022 to be exact. Usually in these unplayable type videos, I talk about how cheaters have ruined the game, or how a lack of player base really makes it hard for matchmaking, or I'll make some running joke about how I've called in some MILF hunting troll to correct the cheating in the game. But those games are years old, and I at least try to come up with some sort of alternative for you, the viewer, to play these games. You know the drill, but Modern Warfare 2 2022 has issues unlike any other unplayable video game that I have ever covered. MW2 is quite possibly the most uninspiring, boring, fundamentally broken piece of junk that I've ever played in my entire career. And yes, a lot of games are gonna have issues, but it seems like the developers don't really care about this game. Quick disclaimer, at one point in time I stated I would make one last MW2 sucks video. Plot twist, I never did, because after doing a bunch of them, I needed a break from making videos like that and from playing this game. I also wanted to take some time in between this video and the inevitable future video because some part of me had hoped the developers would receive some inspiring text messages from Father of the Year Tom Brady. They would then read these and get it together, correct some of the game's flaws, where it slowly would become a Call of Duty Vanguard, where the game just gets better and more playable, which I know is an absolute sin to say.
No, man. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
So the disclaimer is this. This will be my last complainy type video in regards to MW2 2022, barring some sort of sin being committed or some sort of overpriced DLC coming out featuring purely remasters at a ridiculously high price point. Speaking of which, the game's multiplayer is dog water. It is probably one of the most uninspiring multiplayers I have ever played in a Call of Duty game. It's just full of remasters and various development decisions that you kind of just go, why? I kind of believe this game needs a name change, as I don't feel like it's fitting to call it Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Me personally, I think calling it something like, I don't know, Call of Duty Remastered, or maybe Call of Duty, our only original idea was unoriginality, because MW2 just feels like one big remaster of previous Call of Duty titles. Listen, I don't care if the developers reuse weapons, perks, or whatever other assets they need to develop a Call of Duty title, because those things you can tweak and balance from game to game, making them look and feel different than previous iterations, which in turn enhances overall gameplay. But it's when you remaster maps, let alone the same maps over and over and over again, and then you just call it new content, that kind of crap doesn't fly with me very much. Oh, I thought of a new title. Why not Call of Duty Recycled Warfare? Damn, I'm good. As of right now, the time of writing this being March 19th, 2023, we have 4 remastered maps, those being Shipment from Call of Duty 4, which has already been remastered 5 times, 6 if you're going to include Modern Warfare Remastered, but I think that's just being a bit petty. Shootouts from Modern Warfare 2019, this is the map's first remaster and hopefully its last. This map is to Call of Duty like Sam Darnold is to the sport of football, an extremely tragic mess. Oh god, you could have just been so much better. Dome from Modern Warfare 3, which has been remastered 4 times, and current fan favorite map, Tarak, which is a remaster / remake of Newville from Call of Duty United Offensive. Didn't know that? Me neither. If it weren't for this Reddit post I saw a few days ago, I wouldn't even have mentioned it. For your information, I view remakes and remasters as the same thing and sometimes just use them interchangeably, even though they are slightly different. Remasters are just taking something that looks terrible but instead making it look prettier by updating graphics, whereas a remake is just taking the existing map but changing a few elements of it so that it plays differently while also updating the graphics. Basically,
same, but different. But still same.
My first thought here was Crash from Modern Warfare 2019 when they added that stupid alleyway, but it's more like how they did that Rust remake in Infinite Warfare. God, what were you guys thinking with this? Anyways, I don't think we're done just yet. We were supposed to get Castle from World at War during some point in Season 2, though this could have just been a bad leak with this actually being a part of Ashika Island. I personally believe we're still going to see Castle at some point in time, and that it was actually going to be a part of Season 2's content drop, but due to backlash over remastered maps, they ended up replacing it with Expo. Oh, don't worry, I'm coming for you. I also have a few ideas over what remasters will be coming to Call of Duty in future seasons. High Rise, since it's already in El Mazrah now, and that it's probably the most requested remaster probably ever. Terminal, which hasn't seen a remaster since Infinite Warfare. Favela, I'd assume would drop with an eventual Los Alamos map, just because if you look at all the maps from Ground War, it seems like this is just pretty much inevitable. Afghan, because it's currently a POI in Warzone 2. Quarry, because it's also in Warzone 2. Showdown, it's a POI in Warzone 2. Rust, as it's a small section that can be found in the Ground War version of Turok. And Storm, again, it's a POI in Warzone 2. And none of these could end up being a part of just like season DLCs, but instead be a part of that big DLC that's apparently coming out at the end of the year that's going to be like $70, so who really knows? But basically any POI that is essentially a previous Call of Duty map leads me to believe it will make its way into the main game, because that's what they do. Examples being Dome, Shipment, and Turok for MW2, or even Scrapyard, Vacant, Superstore, or even Broadcast, which were POIs in the original Warzone that made its way into Modern Warfare 2019. But it may not even matter about content being reused over and over and over again, because it doesn't even seem like Infinity Ward understands how to design a map properly. I personally believe that every map, to a certain degree in Modern Warfare 2, is borderline unplayable. There's no good flow, they seem to benefit a more campy style of play, and 9 times out of 10 you're getting shot in the back. The most recent example of this is the new Expo map that got pushed up due to, the backlash for Season 2's content. And if you don't know how I feel about it, well,
it f***ing sucked.
The map feels like a goddamn maze. It's so bad, in fact, that when I randomly got into a game of Quick Play Hardpoint, Expo was the map we were forced to play on because, there's no map voting in this game. And a guy in the lobby went, and I quote, "Nah man, hardpoint on this map is about to be AIDS." The map loaded, and within seconds, the lobby cleared out like someone just dropped the meanest bean burrito fart of all time.
So where the hell is everybody?
I also had a comment along the lines of how we got a new map and we should stop complaining. And to that I say, yes, we got a new map, but it doesn't mean that we should get the most dog shit thing possible. That's like me crapping into a bunch of boxes and handing them to my family on Christmas and saying, well, at least you got something. So what if it's not that BUSHBERRY t-shirt currently available on my store? It's something, stop complaining. Or even, and this is my favorite line from Survivor ever, having someone ask for a Hulk toy for Christmas, but instead getting their sister's Ken doll painted green. Give me quality or give me quality. God damn it. You get it, the maps suck, and I've probably just spent about 20 minutes talking about the maps, so sorry. I'll just leave the map thing with this. I'm fine with remasters, but only if they do at least one per season and open that up to the fans to vote on, because Call of Duty has an endless amount of maps to choose from, and seeing that we're getting the same ones every single time gets kind of annoying. And I also think we deserve something a little bit new and better, so there's that. Alright, moving on. Gonna try to speed through this thing like Sonic the Hedgehog, hyped up on G Fuel and cocaine. A few more problem areas of note. Staying on the path of beating a dead horse, this user interface is the hottest form of post-RB's ass that I have ever seen in my entire life. It feels like the minute I open up the game and see this main menu, I'm already starting to scream. To get from window to window feels extremely clunky and still doesn't seem to have ever been fixed. Like, I would love to know why this was ever changed from being the basic user interface. Like, yeah, it's as basic as someone who orders a half and half with skim or whatever garbage from Starbucks, but I guess they just wanted to be different, am I right? The progression system can be a bit hard to follow, as you have the base ranking system, the weapon platform system, the attachment system, and the fact that each weapon has its own specific list of attachments that can be unlocked and later used on each gun, not to mention the camo unlock system that is honestly quite enjoyable, and I hope they bring this back. I personally believe all these different progression systems can be a bit overwhelming, but this could also be because of the user interface just being so goddamn bad and the different windows you have to go through to find everything. A new perk system that I've defended because I get where they were going with it, in that you put everyone in the same playing field the second the game starts, though it definitely feels unnecessary. Hashtag bring back the pro perk system. The last thing, that way this doesn't turn into an hour video, is the movement system. Yes, at one point in time I did praise the fact that Infinity Ward removed slide canceling and effectively removed this skill gap that every streamer and content creator under the sun has been complaining about, which to me sounds like a skill gap still exists, but not the skill gap that favors you. But Modern Warfare 2, at least multiplayer, just feels like a snooze. Most games I back out midway just due to the boredom because of how the game seems to favor sentinels, and my matches end up turning into one big game of rat and go seek. And yes, that could be a point against my whole skill gap thing, but I think the campers being favored is actually a very bad thing for Call of Duty. Unlike the movement system, I think it just kind of goes both ways. I don't think there's a real skill gap there, but I think it just helps speed up games. Besides the map design, I think a part of this is due to the movement system taking a step back to be a more old school type Call of Duty. Though having recently gone back to multiple old school Call of Duty titles and recently played Vanguard, at my own will, I may add, I would like to say I had a blast on Vanguard and think it would be smart to add this new movement system back. But also to a certain degree, the movement system was never this slow. And a couple quick mentions, add red dots onto the mini-map in Ninja as a perk. Why is this so goddamn hard? And I'm not even going to try to get started on how the game is built for campers, skill-based matchmaking, the horrible spawns, the constant game crashes, and the sexual objectification of some of its operators. But that's it for the multiplayer side of MW2, so I want to start speaking on a few other game modes real quick because, you know,
Money.
raids look fun, but since none of my friends play Modern Warfare 2, I haven't been able to play them at all. So instead I just sit in my office watching other people have fun and complete the various challenges it has to offer, while I shove Cheeto Puffs down my throat and cry about how much marijuana can ruin lives. This mode would definitely benefit from matchmaking, as A, you're currently banking on everyone playing Modern Warfare 2 instead of the reality which other games exist and people are going to go play those other games, and B, it's pretty much just A.
Fix that shit!
Warzone 2 and DMZ, to me, are just entirely separate properties from Modern Warfare 2 and have actually looked really good in the recent month, which is pathetic because an entirely different studio is making Infinity Ward look like a bunch of chumps. Spec Ops is liquid ass, and anyone that says, "What, it's such a good game mode, are you crazy?" When was the last time you played Spec Ops? More than at least once in the last month. My guess, it was during the launch when you last played, when the camera was broken and half the matches would lag you out of it. Half the maps / missions are all just ripped from Warzone 2 Al Mazrah, which is lazy if you ask me, so why not just give us a modern zombies? I mean, alien zombies, am I right? Campaign can be best summed up as a rated R Marvel movie. There seems to just be zero stake for these characters other than we lost weapons of mass destruction, just go find them, which doesn't seem like there's any real stake when no characters' lives are truly in danger. Yes, they do dangerous things, but at no point other than 2 moments does it really feel like these characters are in any real sort of danger. Those moments being when this guy was trapped in that burning building but was just saved in the nick of time by Alejandro, who I still think is a villain, and I don't know if that's just because of the actor or the character itself. And Gaz during the moment where he's pulling price spoilers and soap spoilers into a room at the end of the game trying to avoid fire from these enemies who are trying to protect the big bad, but nope, nothing ever happens to this guy, which is probably because if they were to unalive anyone major, they wouldn't be able to use them in the multiplayer per whatever story they're trying to tell, though Shredder exists in this multiplayer, so I don't really know what they're doing. And don't even get me started on that horrific Graves boss battle.
Come on, Aaron, let's talk about it. Boom! Roasted! I like that. You get paid for assholes with that. Get this. Get this.
It also feels like the story during roughly the second half just completely falls apart, mainly because the game's villains are just absolute jokes. See this video for more of an explanation. Though I must praise the performances by the actors of the game because they sold every single performance possible, and my god, the cutscene animations were incredible. Everything else can just suck it, as far as I'm concerned though. MW2 2022 is unplayable in 2023 because of how soulless this game feels. MW2 is nothing more than a way to rank up for Call of Duty's most prized IP, that being Warzone 2. The game seems to have a slew of issues that are purely from a development standpoint, not to mention all the forced garbage overpriced bundles that feel like they're being jammed down our throat every single month. Do I think this gets better? No. I think this actually gets worse, and at some point Activision and Infinity Ward cut their losses and will move on to future projects, but hopefully this game serves as an example of how not to design a Call of Duty game. And I'm not saying they're going to abandon the game and not support it. I think we're going to still see content, but I think we're not going to see as many important updates coming down the road. But I could be completely wrong and they could overhaul this game overnight, but it's been a few months and I highly doubt they're going to do that anytime soon. If ever. Most likely never. And if by some reason you find this game fun outside of that one game mode I've talked about and think is actually the most enjoyable being League play, I'm very happy for you, but MW2 is objectively the worst Call of Duty to ever be put on the store shelves. Personally, I believe MW2 should have been this perfect compilation of some of the best aspects of Call of Duty, seeing as we've had 50 of these things, but instead, we got this disaster. And I think what fires me up even more is the fact that they took Modern Warfare 2, a title that was part of a game that was so beloved by a majority of Call of Duty players that had played the game at the time and used it just for pure profit. I mean, I get it. I mean, that's genius. But honestly, fuck you. But that's why I'm so judgmental of this game, and I committed to that very early on, because if you're using Modern Warfare 2, a title that is so beloved and so great, I mean, not great, but you kind of get what I'm trying to say, then I have to pick your game apart piece by piece, because you're clearly trying to get some profit off just using a name. But I want to know what you think in the comment section below. Is MW2 in 2023 unplayable? But if you enjoy the game, let me know in the comment section as to why, because I'm genuinely curious. Also, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, and if you didn't, well, that blows. Maybe eat some Arby's. Hit the subscribe button to show your support for Father of the Year, Tom Brady. Thanks for watching, and well, bye.